Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our celebrity series where we have amazing conversations and musings with many who have sung with us or written for us and or even conducted with us. And I'm really delighted today to have the opportunity to speak with Dashon Burton. Many of you remember Dashon. His most recent performance with us was the role of Elijah when we sang that magnificent work by Mendelssohn in 2015. And that was during our 45th anniversary season that he came to sing for us the first time. Dashon's been praised by the New York Times. They say he's got such a beautiful, rich tone, and I want to ask him what they mean by nobility, where they say it's nobility and rich tone, but it's one of many amazing reviews that he gets all over the world. And Dashon certainly has established a worldwide career in the opera world, singing recitals, singing with major orchestras. So we're going to talk to him about that. So Dashon, welcome. It is so
Thank
good.
you so much, Bill. I'm truly so overjoyed to see you again, and my big thanks to everyone listening and watching. Really happy to see you all, even if it's just one way for right now. But yeah, looking forward to seeing you all and giving you as many hugs as I can sometime soon in person.
I know, it's so true.
Yeah,
You grew up in Williamsport, Dashon.
yeah,
So
yeah.
tell us a little bit about your time there, your life before you started singing as a career.
hmm I went to high school in Williamsport, and that's when I moved from New York City, and that's when I started to find kind of that music could be a sort of larger part of my life and a more professional part of my life in this way. My friends just said, "Hey, why don't you join the chorus and see, kind of how much we can hang out together and all of that sort of stuff." So as it still is today, it was back then. I'm just in music really just to hang out with friends and really enjoy the camaraderie that it brings. Certainly, I started. Yes, chorus and then band and orchestra, and tried a whole bunch of other things within music when I was in high school. But really, it was singing that stuck, and I just loved singing a lot of the wonderful sort of classical masterpieces that we know, and a lot of new stuff as well. Obviously in high school choir, you're exposed to a lot of different styles of singing as well. So that was just a good introduction for me. And then when I went to college, things were kind of different. From then, it was mostly classical music and things like that. But
Exactly.
um, but yeah, a huge thrill to be a part of the Williamsport music program. It was
It still is very powerful
yeah,
program. Yeah,
really great
it's
program, and I'm
it's
I'm so
amazing.
honored to have had my beginning there.
That's so great. You graduated then from Oberlin College, Conservatory of Music, and then
Mhm.
you you received your Master of Music degree from Yale University's Institute of Sacred Music. And I'd be interested, and I think a lot of people would be interested in how these two institutions influenced your singing career. Did you always know that you wanted to be a professional singer?
Yeah, I really didn't know, and I think I was really lucky to have a lot of very patient teachers, who were, just incredibly caring and just said, "Okay, we can see that you're young. We can see, you have a lot of talent, but your direction is still a little bit up in the air." And it was true. I just didn't know, kind of what I wanted to do with music or singing or something like this, and so I was lucky again to have these teachers to kind of show me sort of how to just sing in the operatic style, how to really expand my horizons, and just to understand what it was like to have a life in music. I actually started out at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland as a music ed major, and then transferred to Oberlin College as a performance major, and that's where I got my undergrad degree. 4 years of singing in a group called Cantus, a men's vocal ensemble, right after college. That was my first kind of official job in music, my first full time job in music. and it just gave me the bug for travel and for ensemble singing and just this
Right.
life of music that we all love so much. And then I was able to get my master's from the Yale program that you mentioned, which specializes in early music, Baroque music and Renaissance specifically. But they have just immense resources, and you're really able to kind of make your own sort of career as you're studying there. And so I was able to find what was speaking to me in music, in singing, and just kind of experiment in a lot of ways and meet a lot of wonderful people with whom I still work in this wonderful field of ours. So yeah,
Right.
that was kind of the transition a little bit into how I became a professional singer, and truly everywhere I was able to kind of stop along the way during my education, and every teacher that I had truly immensely helpful in helping me understand what it's like to be a musician, which isn't just about having fun and singing and all the time. There's a lot more to it than that, and I was really really lucky to have people show me the way.
Right. You mentioned that you started at Case Western before you then transferred to Oberlin, and it seems that you have a connection with Cleveland, particularly with the Cleveland Orchestra, and I think you've
Mm-hmm.
sung for them on a regular basis, actually, and have traveled with them, I think, as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I've been so lucky to sing with them. My first time happened to be when I was a student at Oberlin. And I know that they, kind of are always on the lookout for students from the local community to perform some of the sort of comprimario roles in their opera productions, or some of the sort of supporting roles in some of the orchestral pieces that they have. And so that was my very first concert, and it happened to be with Pierre Boulez, the really amazing composer and conductor, and it was an all Stravinsky program. And just hearing, I'd heard the orchestra, for a few years while I was at college there, and just sort of being on the other side of that stage, from the conductor was just an immense privilege, and one that showed me that the world of music is incredibly rich and incredibly deep in terms of the level of kind of intensity and richness and emotion that you can have in this very powerful way. And so really, yeah, since then, and certainly in the last, I would say, 10 years especially, I've been incredibly lucky, thanks to everyone at the orchestra, to be able to work with them a number of times. I've performed Beethoven's Ninth Symphony a lot with them, and I've performed an opera role with them, the Cunning Little Vixen, a wonderful, charming Dvorak opera.
That's so great. That's so great. Your repertoire encompasses varied performances. And you just recently, before COVID struck, sang a new oratorio. And you also sang at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. So you not only do you sing pieces that are cutting edge or new, but you sing in spaces that might not be as traditional a place that we might think of for a performer. Tell us a little bit about this whole part of your life.
Absolutely, I love working. First of all, with living composers. It's a joy that not enough of us in our little corner of music get to do, because it can be expensive and all of those sorts of things just practically. But it's a really great thing to work with a composer who's writing a piece not just for your voice, but for this moment. And so this wonderful piece called Sanctuary Road by Paul Moravec, a New York-based composer, tells the life of William Still, who was an abolitionist, and spoke um, uh, very obviously against slavery and against the sort of evil that was gripping the country during this time. And it was kind of his mission in life to get the stories, especially of these people who were enslaved, of these families who were torn apart, of these people who were brutally murdered. He was trying to get these stories written down and preserved for history, certainly, but also disseminated within these communities to help everyone understand how immediate of a problem this was, and how it was really tearing the fabric of society apart, and everything that the country supposedly had been working to build to that point. It was his idea, to kind of get all of these stories together, and really bring them to as many people as possible, to really move the hearts, and make people sort of rise to this call for action, to truly change things. And so, yeah, the oratorio is kind of a loose sort of telling of his story, and it's one of very many pieces that I've been able to premiere, and to kind of work with the composer in a way to sort of talk about not just my range and all kinds of sort of technical elements like that,
Right.
but just about sort of where the composer is in his life, or where I am in my life, and things like that. Those are the really interesting conversations that can come up when you're able to work with new composers. I work with a wonderful band called Roomful of Teeth as well, and that's kind of our entire mission, is to work with composers who are who are really devoted to finding new ways of using the voice as well. So yeah, it's a really great joy to work in new music, certainly, and to kind of see where that music certainly can do, and that certainly is among some of the other wonderful spaces I've worked in as well. The Met Museum was a really lovely one, to perform the Little Match Girl Passion, the David Lang beautiful kind of chamber opera oratorio of sorts. It's a really beautiful piece, and yeah, I was lucky, I think, to perform it in that really resonant space. Singing in museums is always great.
I wonder, and I think a lot of people would like to know what you do other than singing. Is
Yeah.
Do you have hobbies? Are there things that you enjoy doing? Obviously, you travel a lot, and so what kind of places do you really like to go? And not just for singing, but for relaxing.
I've been so lucky in that most of my travel has come, certainly from singing. I'm also lucky, in sort of the concert side of the world, rather than opera, kind of where they're somewhere for at least 6 weeks, if not, 3 months or something like this. They're kind of firmly planted in one place. The concert world has a lot more travel, and I absolutely, have been so lucky to travel around the world a bit. And I one of my favorite places that I've ever visited in my entire life was Cameroon in West Africa.
Wow.
The group that I sang with in Minneapolis, Contus, had a trip, about a 2-week trip to Cameroon to kind of help a church where we rehearsed sort of celebrate the Presbyterian church in Cameroon, and kind of a big sort of countrywide party that they had. So traveling, all across Cameroon, and bringing music, to people, was an experience that I will absolutely never forget. It really, has sunken deep with me, and that's just the power of travel, and the power of sharing music wherever you are able to travel. It's a wonderful hobby in a way, and luckily enough, I've been able to combine business and pleasure in this way a little bit. My friends all make fun of me because, yeah, I love hobbies, and I love kind of expanding my mind and my sort of life experience beyond just music. And it sometimes unfortunately takes away from practice time, which I think is why my friends sometimes make fun of me. But I love hiking. I love being in nature. I love kind of exploring as much as I can. I love all things technological, and trying to figure out certainly how music can kind of, and I'm sorry, how technology can enhance our musical experiences, whether it's through writing music or recording music, and all sorts of things like that. And
You we talked a bit before before doing this interview, and you offered to share with us a snippet of a performance. And since we can do that now virtually,
yeah, exactly.
I wonder if you might do that now and tell us what we're going to hear.
Absolutely. This is one of my favorite performances of the Brahms Requiem that I've been able to have in my entire career. This is with Seraphic Fire, which is a wonderful chamber choir based in Miami. So that is one of my favorite moments in Brahms' Requiem, and it's a text that is familiar to most of us. I'm absolutely positive. Behold, I tell you a mystery: we shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. That is what the singer, the soloist, is singing, and it's just such a beautiful part of this requiem text that Brahms collated in this way, and yeah, it's such an incredible piece. So I hope we all get to sing it together sometime.
I would love that. I would love that. Dashon, this has been fabulous. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I know that those that are listening are going to feel the same. We will look forward to having you back in a live
Anytime.
situation.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
and in the meantime, we hope that you will stay safe and healthy and keep singing. We love it.
Thank you so much, Bill. It's so great to see your face again, and thanks to Kelly and everyone at the chorus, and to all of the singers and friends and family. I miss all of you. I really wish you all great peace and health in these times.
Thank you, Dashon. We will see you soon.
Take care. Thanks again.